Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazin. Okay, all you fans of Kate Hudson. She is now delivering a more delicious performance than you've seen her before. The movie is called Music. Kate, when we first see you, obviously there is a big physical transformation. When you've shaved your head and you looked in the mirror for the first time, what did you see?
You know, it was sort of it was like a stun. It was like, wow, my head's shaved. But I then was like, I loved it. I loved every second of it. I loved also just like an excuse to get rid of all of that old, gross, processed hair. It was like, get rid of it. And then also it was for me, it was just Zoo. It was like for me and Sia, it was like there's just no other way to play Zoo. And I was so excited to play Zoo. And I think as an actor, you get so excited about getting into character. It's like, yeah. And then you deal with it later, which was like the growing out process. It was like, whoa, this is, I went through some crazy stages with my hair, and you realize the growing out stage can get really weird and awkward, but it was really fun. I loved it. It felt amazing and like liberating and raw and like just present when you do that. It's a great feeling. I think anybody, especially for a woman, I think anybody who has embraced that understands what I'm saying, that it feels nice to like just let it like not have it.
Obviously, your co-star was not autistic, but she had to portray that. Going through the experience, what insights did it give you about the sensitivity of the regular world entering into their world?
That's a really great question. A lot of insight. I learned a lot on this movie. I learned a lot about a lot of things. I learned a lot about addiction. I learned a lot about I learned a lot about living with AIDS, HIV, being HIV positive. I learned a lot about autism, and it was informative all around and delicate and special, because it's a love letter to all of it. It's a love letter to living, in this very kind of fantastic fantasy musical. So it was interesting. But what I learned about the autistic community, especially from the caretaker position, is that it's really hard, and that it feels at times hopeless and helpless. And when you love someone so much and you can't help them, you can't get them to see something, or you can't connect with them sometimes in the ways that you wish you could, that it feels very lonely and just it's just hard. And then there's the other side of it, which is I don't think there's probably a purer kind of love and connection. So, we had a wonderful day where we worked with a lot of, families that have what Maddie had. And it's just a beautiful community of, something that is really challenging. And so it was nice to be able to express it through a different lens, sort of
Especially
express.
the dance became the language.
Well, yeah, and to sort of express that through, especially you couldn't really, Maddie, to be able to perform the things that Sia had envisioned, but to come in and to have that expression, that sort of ability to move and to have the freedom, was very emotional, I think, for me. I know doing it with Maddie, and hopefully to a lot of the families, that in the mind of these children, that there's this sort of freedom that they may have. And I think that's sort of what Sia was trying to portray, and I think did a really beautiful job of doing so. But everything, even addiction, all of the stuff, for me, going through having experiences with friends, but like, the darkness of living with pain And how do we see that there is love when we feel so much pain and we feel so, and then Sia's what a brilliant creator, that then it's sort of like she's able to create this alternative world where you see so much color and light and joy. I mean, I found this movie to be really refreshing and beautiful and different. And I think that I just loved it. I loved it. I loved watching it. I loved that I got to be in it, especially today when people don't really take chances on movies like this, in terms of the production value and being able to make the cost to go into making something so original. So that was nice.
Well,
keep forgetting where I'm looking.
No, you're doing great. Thank you for sharing the music of the movie with us. Kate, this is Scott. Till next time.